Toying with Reality, a sarcastic and side-splitting dissection of Pixar's Toy Story. Greetings, dear listener! Buckle up for a wild ride through the realm of sentient playthings as we take a snarky, in-depth look at the absurdities and comical inconsistencies of the 1995 Pixar classic, Toy Story. Prepare to suspend your disbelief and your common sense as we delve into the wacky world of anthropomorphic action figures, dolls, and plastic dinosaurs. First and foremost, let's discuss the central premise of the film: toys that come to life when humans aren't looking. Sure, it's a charming concept, but it also raises a plethora of logical questions. For instance, are all toys secretly alive, or just the ones in Andy's bedroom? And what about the toys that are still in their original packaging, doomed to a suffocating existence in a collector's dusty basement? Talk about a horrifying thought. Moving on to our protagonist, Woody, the floppy-limbed cowboy doll with a heart of gold and a voice of Tom Hanks. As the unofficial leader of Andy's toy collection, Woody is adored by his peers and prized by his owner. However, his world is turned upside down when Buzz Lightyear, the shiny new Space Ranger action figure, arrives on the scene. It's a classic tale of old versus new, and if there's one thing Toy Story teaches us, it's that there's always room for petty jealousy in the world of inanimate objects. Speaking of Buzz, we can't help but point out the absurdity of his delusions. The guy genuinely believes he's a real Space Ranger, sent to save the galaxy from the evil Emperor Zurg. But come on, Buzz, do you really think a true intergalactic hero would be manufactured with a pull string and mass-produced in a factory? And don't even get us started on his laser. It's more like a glorified LED pointer than a weapon of mass destruction. Get a grip, Lightyear! Now, let's address the elephant, or rather, the toy, in the room: the fact that these living toys are perfectly content to spend their lives as playthings for humans. It's almost as if they've all been brainwashed into a state of perpetual servitude, with no aspirations for freedom or independence. Who needs free will when you can be tossed around, stuffed into a toy box, and inevitably discarded once your owner outgrows you? Sounds like a dream come true, right? As for the villain of the piece, we have Sid, the sadistic next-door neighbor who takes pleasure in torturing and mutilating innocent toys. Sure, his actions are cruel, but let's be honest, if you knew your toys were alive, wouldn't you be just a tad more curious about their inner workings? Besides, Sid's Frankenstein-like creations, such as Babyface and Legs, are undoubtedly some of the most memorable characters in the film. Nothing says iconic like a baby doll head attached to a robotic spider body. While we're on the subject of creepy toys, let's not forget the eerie realism of Woody's facial expressions. How exactly does a fabric-faced cowboy doll manage to convey such a wide range of emotions? Are we to believe that his face is made of some advanced, malleable material that can stretch and contort as needed? Or perhaps there's a team of microscopic puppeteers living inside him, tirelessly pulling strings to bring his features to life? We may never know the truth. And what about the film's climax, in which Woody and Buzz miraculously hitch a ride on a rocket to catch up to Andy's moving truck? As thrilling as this scene may be, it's hard to ignore the sheer implausibility of it all. For one thing, the force of the rocket would likely have turned our dynamic duo into plastic confetti before they even left the ground. And even if they did manage to survive the blast-off, the fact that they were able to aim the rocket with such precision and then detach themselves at the perfect moment is nothing short of a physics-defying miracle. But hey, who needs logic when you've got the power of friendship on your side? Let's also take a moment to appreciate the surprisingly advanced technology that these toys have at their disposal. From Mr. Spell's built-in speech synthesizer to Rex's ability to play video games, despite his comically short arms, it's clear that these playthings have more going on under the hood than your average toy. It makes you wonder what kind of top-secret government research facility was responsible for their creation. Area 51, anyone? And while we're on the topic of technology, let's discuss the toy-based economy that seems to exist in the world of Toy Story. How is it that some toys, like Woody and Buzz, are able to afford gadgets like walkie-talkies and remote-controlled cars, while others, like poor Slinky Dog, are left to stretch themselves to the breaking point in order to communicate over long distances? Clearly, there's a significant wealth gap in the toy community, and it's high time someone did something about it. Now, let's address the film's moral lesson, the importance of friendship and loyalty. While it's undoubtedly a heartwarming message, one can't help but wonder if there's a touch of hypocrisy at play here. After all, Andy himself is guilty of casting Woody aside in favor of Buzz, proving that even the most beloved toys can fall from grace. So perhaps the true moral of the story is that, in the fickle world of childhood, no toy is truly safe from the cruel whims of their human overlords. As we continue our snarky journey through the world of Toy Story, it's impossible to overlook the film's numerous pop culture references and in-jokes. From the iconic alien claw machine scene to the plethora of subtle nods to other movies and TV shows, it's as if the creators wanted to ensure that both children and adults could share in the laughter. However, one must wonder if these self-aware winks to the audience were meant to distract us from the film's many logical inconsistencies. Well played, Pixar! Well played! Next, let's address the strange hierarchy that exists within the toy community. While Woody is undoubtedly the leader of Andy's toys, it's unclear what criteria were used to determine his status. After all, Mr. Potato Head seems to have just as much, if not more, experience in the toy industry, and Slinky Dog's unwavering loyalty would make him an excellent candidate for the position. Perhaps the real secret to Woody's success lies in his ability to maintain order through a combination of charisma, cunning, and the occasional display of raw power, such as when he accidentally knocks Buzz out of the window. Yes, the world of toys is far more complex and cutthroat than it first appears. Another peculiar aspect of Toy Story is the film's portrayal of animals. While the toys are given human-like qualities and emotions, animals like Buster the dog and Scud, Sid's vicious pet, are shown to be little more than mindless beasts. This begs the question, why is it that toys are granted the gift of sentience, while animals remain trapped in their primitive states? Perhaps Pixar is trying to tell us that true intelligence is not a birthright, but rather a byproduct of human ingenuity and imagination. Or maybe they just thought it would be funny to see a bunch of toys running away from a dog. Furthermore, let's not forget the film's infamous gas station scene, where Woody and Buzz find themselves stranded after a heated argument leads to their ejection from Andy's moving car. As the two toys bicker and battle their way through the gas station, one can't help but wonder how they manage to avoid detection by any passers-by. Are we really expected to believe that nobody noticed a cowboy doll and a Space Ranger action figure duking it out in broad daylight? Perhaps the secret to their stealth lies in their inherent ability to freeze in place at a moment's notice, transforming from living beings into lifeless objects at the drop of a hat. Or maybe everyone at the gas station was just too busy gawking at the price of fuel to notice the epic showdown unfolding before their eyes. In conclusion, Toy Story is a delightful romp through a world of whimsy and wonder, where logic takes a backseat to laughter and lighthearted fun. As we chuckle at the absurdities and embrace the inconsistencies of this beloved Pixar classic, we can all agree on one thing: the secret lives of toys may be ridiculous, but they're certainly never dull. So grab your favorite action figure, wind up your trusty tin soldier, and join us on this uproarious adventure through the zany, nonsensical world of Toy Story. And remember, whether you're a cowboy, a space ranger, or a plastic potato with a penchant for sarcasm, there's a place for you in this wacky, wonderful universe where imagination truly knows no bounds.